Okay, so let's just jump right in. What if I told you that you can literally hack your brain to crave studying, the same way it craves scrolling through social media for hours on end? Seriously, it's not magic, it's all about neuroscience. And by the end of this, you're going to have a clear, step-by-step playbook to make it happen for yourself.
But first, let's start with the question I'm pretty sure we've all asked ourselves. You sit down, you're totally determined to get work done. And then, what feels like 5 minutes later, you're deep in a rabbit hole of videos. Why? Why is it so effortless to get lost in your phone, but just thinking about opening a textbook feels like climbing a mountain? Well, the answer comes down to a single, really powerful chemical in your brain.
And that's it. It all comes down to this one word: dopamine. You can think of it as the chemical puppet master that's pulling all the strings, telling your brain what's exciting and what's, well, just plain boring. So to really get why scrolling always seems to win the battle for our attention, we've got to understand what this powerful little chemical is actually up to in our brains.
Okay, so dopamine is a neurotransmitter. A simple way to think of it is as a little messenger in your brain that says, hey, that felt good. Let's do that again. It's a super ancient system, right? It was designed to motivate us to repeat behaviors that are crucial for survival, like finding food or making friends.
And I love this metaphor because it perfectly captures just how intense that motivation is. Your brain isn't just sitting around waiting for good things to happen. No, it is actively hunting for dopamine. It's wired from the ground up to find the fastest, easiest way to get that little burst of pleasure. And that's exactly where our modern problem starts. See, our technology isn't just a bit distracting. It's a perfectly engineered machine that has completely hijacked our brain's natural reward system. And this right here makes the problem crystal clear. Look at social media. It takes basically zero effort, just a flick of your thumb, and what do you get for it? An instant, high-powered hit of dopamine. A new video, a funny picture, a surprising comment. Now, compare that to studying. That takes a ton of effort, right? Sustained focus, and the reward? It's delayed. It comes way, way later when you finally grasp a tough concept or, pass the exam.
So what's happening is your brain has gotten used to this constant 24/7 feast of easy dopamine from your phone. This jacks up your baseline for what you consider pleasurable. It's kind of like building up a tolerance, meaning you need bigger and more frequent hits just to feel anything. And next to that, the slow, hard work of studying feels like trying to eat a plain rice cake after an all-you-can-eat dessert buffet. It's just not going to happen.
So, how in the world do we fix this? Well, the solution starts by hitting the reset button on our pleasure baseline. It's time for what some people call a dopamine diet. And just to be clear, this isn't some official medical term, but it's a great way to think about intentionally cutting back on these super intense, easy sources of stimulation.
Now this sounds incredibly simple, but trust me, it's not easy. For just 15 minutes a day, you're going to deliberately starve your brain of all that external noise. No phone, no podcasts, no music, nothing. You can go for a walk in silence, or just sit and stare out the window. And at first, your brain is going to scream at you for a distraction, and that's actually how you know it's working. You're basically going through withdrawal.
But the whole point of this is incredibly powerful. By doing this every day, you slowly start to lower that crazy high dopamine baseline. Your brain, which is used to a feast, starts to become more sensitive. It begins to actually appreciate the smaller, more subtle rewards again, like the quiet satisfaction you get from finally understanding a difficult paragraph in a textbook. Okay, so resetting your baseline is only half the battle. Now we get to the really fun part, actively hacking the process of studying itself to make it way more rewarding. And this all kicks off with a simple shift in your mindset. Instead of looking at your books like a chore, you gotta start seeing them as a challenge, a puzzle to be solved, or even a treasure map that leads to amazing knowledge. Your brain absolutely loves solving puzzles, so just framing it this way is the very first hack. Next up, you need to create a reward system that actually works with your brain's wiring. So don't even think about trying to read 50 pages at once. Instead, just aim to read one single section, or solve just 3 math problems. After you complete that tiny, totally conquerable chunk, you physically put a check mark next to it. That simple little action is a clear signal to your brain that you've accomplished something.
And guess what that signal does? It triggers a small but very satisfying release of dopamine. You're literally giving yourself a reward for making progress. And this starts to build an amazing positive feedback loop. You can take this whole idea of small wins even further with another fantastic tool, the Pomodoro technique. It's a classic for a reason. Your brain loves challenges that have a clear start and end. So, you set a timer for 25 minutes, and you turn it into a game. Can I stay completely focused until that timer dings? This instantly turns studying from this endless, overwhelming task into a series of short, manageable sprints.
And every single time you nail a 25-minute block, you get that feeling of victory. And with it comes another little hit of that sweet, motivating dopamine. See how this works?
Want a couple more quick hacks? Try this. After you learn something, explain it out loud like you're teaching it to a friend. That feeling of mastery is a huge dopamine trigger. Or try taking notes by hand with a few different colored pens. The physical movement combined with the visual variety stimulates more of your brain and just makes the whole process way more engaging.
So what happens when you actually combine the dopamine detox with these little reward hacks? Well, you fundamentally begin to change your brain's entire relationship with the act of studying.
Look, this is not an overnight fix, but the progress happens a lot faster than you'd think. You just start small. Day 1, just one 15-minute detox and one 25-minute study block. That's it. But within a couple of weeks, you'll start to feel a real difference. That constant urge to check your phone will start to fade. And honestly, within a month, you might actually be surprised to find yourself wanting to open that textbook. For real.
So the big takeaway here is this. By understanding how your brain's reward system works and then working with it instead of against it, you can totally transform studying from something you dread into something that's genuinely satisfying. You are literally rewiring your own brain.
Your brain isn't broken. It's not lazy. It's just operating exactly how modern technology has trained it to operate. But now you have the tools to retrain it. So the only real question left is, are you ready to take back control?